What is up, guys? Welcome to a new video. Loads of season 7 details got dropped yesterday, and I know when I looked at it I was like, there is so much stuff here. Can someone please just tell me what I need to know and sum it up? And actually, I guess that's kind of my job, right? That's kind of what you guys want from me, so that is what I'm going to do in this video. We're going to go into more detail in more videos, but this is just going to sum up all of the new information. I've gone through it, I've picked out the important stuff, so I'm just going to tell you that, what you actually need to know. Timestamps are down below, and I've split this into 3 things. So ranked stuff, gameplay, which is like jungle changes and items, and the assassin update. So what is actually changing with each of the champions being updated? So the first one is the ranked queue for season 7. It's going to be a solo queue and a flex queue. So solo is like in season 5, except with a new role selector like we've had this season. It also lets you pick your least favorite role now. So like for me, I would pick AD and then maybe mid lane for my secondary, but if I get autofill, just not support. So I could say my least favorite is support. Flex is going to be a separate queue like dynamic queue, and a ranked 5s had a baby. I guess you would get the flex queue. There are going to be different rewards, different games, and you can play in both. You actually get rewarded for getting at least gold in both of the queues. As I said, I'm going to keep this quite short. I'm not going to give you my thoughts particularly. I'm going to give you actually what you need to know, the important stuff. The second thing I want to talk about is the gameplay changes. For the jungle, there are 2 parts. So the first one is plants. There's going to be 3 plants that actually spawn in the jungle now. The first one is Blast Cone, then Scry's Bloom, and Honey Fruit. Blast Cone is like a knockback. It's kind of like Zig Satchel actually. It will knock back people around you. It'll also catapult you over walls if you play it right. Scry's Bloom is like a Ash Hawk shot. Basically, it fires in a line and reveals everything. And Honey Fruit is your health and mana back when you hit them, when you activate them. The smite buffs in the jungle though have been removed because of these, basically like chickens to find wards, except well actually raptors. Okay, I call them chickens. Okay, if you smite that, it's not going to let you remove wards anymore, but now just smiting heals you when you smite big monsters like the red buff does now, but with all camps. The camps have actually been changed very slightly though. So red and blue, the mini ones have been removed, so it's just the big one now. The raptors or the chickens, there are 5 mini instead of 3. The wolf camp is the same, but the gromp, there's no poison anymore, but it enrages at the start when you aggro it. And finally, Krugs split into smaller Krugs as you kill them. So kind of like an annoying little AoE camp. Masteries are getting lots of different changes, but the biggest ones I've actually announced for now is Strength of the Ages is being removed. It's not going to be in season 7. Replacing it is something called Courage of the Colossus, which is basically where you gain a shield when you crowd control an enemy. So for a Moo example, like if he goes in, he hits his Q, that's going to be 1, that's going to be a shield. Hit your ultimate, that's going to be another shield. There are a few new items coming in as well. These are going to be about the support ones. The assassin items are going to be in the next little section of this video, but the first thing is Aegis does not give you a magic resist aura anymore, but more stats on it. There are some new items though. The first one is called Knight's Vow, so it gives you health, armor, regen as well, health regen, and a passive which you pick a champion as a partner, kind of like Zeke's, I'd assume. When you're near each other, you're going to gain armor and movement speed as well, but you also redirect a portion of their damage taken to you, so you absorb some of it and you heal for a portion of their damage dealt. I think that's going to be pretty busted. We're going to go into that in a future video, but there's another item called Redemption. This is again new, so health regen, mana, cooldown reduction, and a passive. You get extra heal and shield power, so like your Sona heal for example would heal for more. It also has an active though, where you target any area on the map. After a short delay, it heals allies in that area and damages enemies, and you can even use this while you're dead. That is ridiculous. That's going to be the general gameplay stuff though going into season 7, and now is the assassin update. This is obviously one of the biggest things right now, and there is a lot of information, but a lot of it is kind of the same. So this is the important stuff that's actually changing. The big updates are going to be to Talon, Rengar, LeBlanc, and Katarina, and there are small ones to Fizz, Zed, Kali, Kha'Zix, Shaco, and Echo. Let's go over the bigger ones first and actually go over what is changing. So if I don't mention an ability, then it means it's going to stay the same. So the first thing, his passive is going to change. It wounds champions and epic monsters, but after 3 stacks, they're going to bleed and take a lot of damage. His Q is the same. It's going to jump to them, or actually it crits if in melee range though. So if you're already next to the target and you use this, you're going to automatically crit, which is pretty busted. His E is obviously the biggest thing that people are talking about right now, because you can kind of parkour like over terrain. You can't do it again after for a long time, but you actually jump over walls with this. I'm really looking forward to seeing these parkour montages. I'm probably going to try and do one myself, honestly. Play a bunch of talent and just do like a little escape montage where I'm jumping over walls constantly. The next one though is Rengar, and he's probably getting one of the biggest changes out of all of the assassins. So his passive is actually kind of new, kind of the same. You're still going to jump out of bushes, but the trophy part is different. You now get 1 kind of trophy, I guess, per unique kill of a champion. So if you kill like the Katarina enemy, Katarina twice, you're only going to get 1 stack obviously, but you need to kill each individual champion, but you gain AD per unique champion champ you kill. His Q is brand new. It's going to swipe in front of him now, and it kind of like a cone in front of him. Then it dashes forward a little bit as well to do more damage to the target in front of him. His W is a thing I think might be actually broken because it's going to heal Rengar for a portion of damage taken in the last few seconds, and if you use it with ferocity, then it removes crowd control and prevents crowd control for a little while. His ultimate's kind of got a little tweak. It's not brand new. It's still the same old stealth thing that jump out and kill people as we know and love. Well, not love, but you know, it's the same as it was before, except he only now sees the nearest enemy champion to him, but from very far away. LeBlanc is another one. She's only got a couple of changes, but these are actually going to have a massive impact because it impacts how you play her, I think. So a passive, this is the big thing, how you're going to actually play it, because the old Q mark, if you remember, like when you left a little seal on the target that you can activate for extra damage, now all of your abilities apply it and it's on your passive. Your Q is like your old Q, but if it procs a passive mark, then it actually bounces to other marked targets and can just like chain round all these marked ones. So basically what it's going to mean is if you W onto like a wave of minions, for example, then use your Q, it will just bounce to all of them because it's already been marked by your W. Your old passive is kind of moved onto your ultimate, so it goes invisible, you spawn a clone, and then that clone is going to do the same spell as you cast as well. So you get like a double spell. The thing is, the clone actually casts a spell for you though, so if you chain, like the second chain is going to come from next to you from the other one. So in theory it could get blocked, I don't know, but also if you use your ultimate with it, then the clone will walk towards the target, the closest enemy, and use the spell you last used. Katarina's rework actually isn't that massive. Like her Q is going to throw a dagger, it drops it, but if you pick it up then you do AoE damage around you, kind of like your old W would, like the little spin with damage around. Her W has obviously been replaced then if we've had that with the Q now with the little spinny thing. So her W is new. You throw a dagger in the air, you get move speed, but if you go back and pick it up, you do AoE damage around you again. All of her other abilities are staying the same. So she is basically the same, except she's got this new mechanic where she throws a dagger and she has to pick it up for some more AoE damage. Even though E is actually the same kind of ability, it has been tweaked slightly. So basically, like on arrival, when you use your shampoo, you're going to do damage around it, kind of like your W would, or like if you pick up a Q, for example. The thing is, if you use your E on a drop dagger, so if you use your Q and then it drops a dagger, and if you use your shampoo onto it, the shampoo is going to be massively had its cooldown reduced, so you can jump again pretty much straight away. Those are the big ones. Let's go on to the small ones. So the first one, Akali. Now she's going to dash before dropping her W, and pink wards are not going to reveal her in season 7. Echo is getting a few tweaks. We don't actually know all of them just yet, but using your ultimate through your W would actually proc the stun and shield. So for example, even if you don't land up in the W, as long as you go through it while you're chrono breaking, you're actually still going to proc it. With Fizz, his R gets bigger with distance traveled, so his shark will actually get bigger as it goes by, which is kind of cool, I guess. But Kha'Zix, his W has more crowd control, his ultimate has more map mobility. Again, these small ones are kind of vague because they actually haven't announced the full changes yet, like how they're actually going to do this, but this is at least what they want to do. Shaco, they're trying to make him like less abusive early and more of a kind of like mid to late game pick as well, I guess. Like his passive has a short cooldown, but it's going to be a lot better, so it'll do more damage as the backstab. His Q duration scales with rank, and his W can actually be placed while invisible as well. I know Twitch doesn't really fall into this, but he does fall into like the stealth kind of rework, I guess. So his Q is massive movement speed when you're near enemy champions, but it is only camouflage. So if you're near someone, they can see you. His W when you throw the cask is actually going to linger now though, because it adds poison over time in it, actually like to everyone around. Zed is the one that a lot of people have been talking about, and it's kind of ridiculous. So his ultimate is going to steal a percentage of the enemy's AD who he actually kills with his ultimate, the one who has the most. The way it reads is if you would kill the enemy mid laner, for example, they don't have much AD, but then if you kill the enemy AD, it's going to replace it with that. And even if you kill the mid laner afterwards, it will still keep that portion of AD from the AD carry. To kind of compensate, I guess, his W doesn't give a bonus percentage of attack damage anymore, so that kind of makes up for it, but that still seems pretty broken. The assassin items are something that a lot of people talked about as well, so we're going to very quickly go over what the actual important stuff is. Now, because I'm British and I'm an idiot, I'm probably going to say this wrong, but there's a new stat called lethality, I think, which is like instead of arm pen now. It's the same idea, but it scales with their level instead. The idea is that it's just not going to snowball as much early, but it'll still carry on into the late game, which is cool. But the Dirk is out of combat movement speed. Pretty much the rest is staying the same. Poacher's Dirk is a new item that actually, when you steal enemies' camps in the enemy jungle, after a certain amount of them, it's going to upgrade into the Dirk. Sorcerer's Bane is a new item, kind of like Dirk, but magic resist and a passive as well. You actually channel for a quick spell shield afterwards, so you can block some kind of spell. Dustblade is going to be like Dirk, but the passives are changing. So after being unseen, so going like invisible or whatever, the next auto attack does bonus true damage, which seems ridiculous. Ghostblade is like the Dirk, same kind of stats, but cooldown reduction as well, and the active gives you move speed and blocks the next basic attack against you unless you attack first. Finally, just a quick note, Maw is not really giving arm pen anymore. It's not for assassins anymore. It's hopefully going to be more of like a bruiser or an AD carry item. Very quickly, just to round out this video, the stealth stuff. So camouflage, you can be seen by nearby people, like Evelynn is going to be for people like Twitch, Rengar, and Eve. Invisibility is where you can't be seen at all, not even by pink. So like Shaco, for example, or Kha'Zix or Akali. Pink wards as well, while they don't like reveal stealth now, it does disable wards around it. So actually, if you have a pink ward in the Baron, even if you ward over, you're not going to be able to see it because the pink ward disables it. So I've tried to keep this as short as possible. That is everything you need to know so far about what Riot have released about Season 7. I hope you guys enjoyed it though. Thank you for watching until the end. Let me know what you think about all of these changes in the comments. I'm sure there's going to be some pretty controversial stuff, but thank you for watching again, and I'll leave you with the robots.